Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. Today we're looking at Mr. Miracle issue 5. They were raised in the hellfire pits of Apocalypse and then they fell in love. So we're following Barda and Scott Free as they travel around Los Angeles, kind of living out his last day. They have some slight adventures, and she ties Scott up in the Jesus Christ pose, and then they have sex, and that goes on for an uncomfortable amount of time. They go out to visit Oberon Kurtzberg's grave, and Scott says he's going to see him soon. It's very depressing. The issue starts with the two of them hanging out in front of what looks like Man's Chinese Theater. Scott's putting his hands in some cement as on the Walk of Fame, and he says, "Just say the word, I'll stay. Just say stay, I'll fight, I'll go to war, I'd kill Orion, I swear." And she says, "I can't do that." And of course, when they're leaving, they run into Funky Flashman, PR agent of the gods, and he's an old 70s character. He's really annoying. Funky Flashman tells Scott and Barda that they are going to market this as a suicide as opposed to an execution because Mr. Miracle is so popular on Earth, and the new gods need Earth to be an ally to them, and executing Scott would be turning the public against them. So they're going to use it as the opportunity to turn it into a publicity stunt and say that he committed suicide. He's already tried it once, and it's not a big deal. So Barda is clearly annoyed by this, but they get rid of him, and they move on with their day. They visit Oberon's grave. They go out to eat at Scott's favorite restaurant. They get stuck in traffic. They go to an amusement park where Scott gets her a big stuffed Wonder Woman doll. They gaze into a pond, which apparently smells like urine, and they watch the sunset. Then they drive up to look over the valley to see the stars and the lights of Los Angeles, but it's not quite what he had hoped for. He hoped there would be some meaning there, and there isn't. And over the course of the issue, both of them have cried. It's a real downer episode. Barda kind of breaks down in their room. He tries to comfort her in a wordless exchange that is really well done, and again they make love. Shortly after that, whilst they're laying there in bed, we get a Dark Side Is panel, and then a Funky Flashman shows up with a couple of what look like royal guards, and they're going to escort Scott down to a press conference where he will explain what's happening to the public with their spin. And Scott's kind of resigned to it. His head's down, eyes narrowed the entire time. And then a zap rolls out and kills one of the guards. And then we see a baton hitting the other guard, beating him to death. Funky Flashman is next. And we end the issue with Barda saying, "While buck naked and covered in blood, stay." This was a very powerful issue. It really did justice to the medium. There was a lot of good use of silence, as well as the communication of people that are in a situation where one of them is about to die. And it was really well done. It was tastefully handled. There was a little bit of humor in there, like is normal with situations like this. And I was immensely impressed with the issue. I don't normally like Tom King, but this Mr. Miracle series has been phenomenal. If you haven't been reading this, go get it. Get caught up. I know they've done at least 3 printings of the first issue. It shouldn't be too hard to find one of those printings at a reasonable price. They may have even done further printings since then, but this story continues to get better and better, and slowly events are proceeding, but it is so well written. It's not an action book, but it is one of the better books that I've read this year, hands down. And like I said if before in one of the other episodes, if this has the payoff that they've been building toward and it makes logical sense, this could easily be a classic. So if you haven't been reading this, you're missing out. Please give it a shot. At least pick up one issue, preferably the first issue to start there, and try and catch up because I know issue 6 is out and I think issue 7 is due to drop here shortly. So if you get a chance, please pick up the first issue, see what you think. I know it won't be for everyone, but it is a very good story and it's very well done. I have been enjoying it quite a bit, so I'll give it a very high recommendation for this book. But that'll do it for this episode. As always, thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel, and we hope to see you on the next episode.